Three people that have contributed greatly to the enrichment of the students' lives here at BG, and lots of times under the radar. I believe that the committee has chosen three outstanding people who are most deserving. I would like to thank the committee, under the direction of John Wolf, who have chosen who I consider to be really, really good honorees. So could they stand right now so that we can recognize them? We're in for a special treat tonight with Corey Geishauser. You probably have breathed a sigh of relief knowing I'm not the MC. No, that's not true. But we have a special treat today because Corey Geishauser, I think, is an unbelievably talented individual, and I think he's got unbelievable, I don't know, he just has a way about him that I think everybody's going to enjoy. Corey is a 1992 graduate, and is a character. I thought about how I was going to say this, but he's a character in every positive sense of the word. I just don't know. He has done things for many people under the radar, kind of like our honorees tonight. I'd like to tell you a few of the facts from his resume entitled, this is really good, 50 nifty things we could care less about Corey Geishauser. So that's how we're going to start, because I'm going to read these. Corey is a military affairs activities assistant in the therapeutic activities department at the Hollisburg Veterans Home. Now that's a mouthful, but I've seen him work with these people. I was at a dinner at the Kiwanis, and Corey brought these gentlemen in. Such a caring guy. It was really mind-boggling to see him work with the people there. He played sports. He was the sports mascot steamer at the Altoona Curve baseball team for 10 seasons. He said they got all kinds of zippers now, and so he decided to turn in the suit. He has 50 of them here. I'm not going to read 50, but I thought, I was writing these, I was laughing. This is serious.
Hey, I'm doing this live remote broadcast from over here tonight, Coach. Take your time.
But I mean, he's a reoccurring co-host on Central Pennsylvania Live and has a segment called Tuesdays with Corey, and makes frequent cameo appearances on morning radio shows. He has worked with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood in the Design Center. His cartoons have been published in the Altoona Mirror, the Morrison's Cove Herald, among many other newspapers and magazines on the online comic sites. He designed, how many of you remember the Rail Kings? The Rail Kings? Well, he deserved their logo.
There were two people that raised their hands, Coach. I'm just going to be a long time.
Corey, you haven't been introduced yet.
Sorry.
He has written and illustrated 8 children's books, including The Mascot with the Ascot. I'm sure all have read that. And is currently at the drawing board with numbers 9 and 10. He teaches his art fun shops, basic drawing and cartooning for kids course for over 20 years. He's had columns and cartoons published in Parade magazine. He has been awarded the title of the Ultimate 5-0 fan and the CBS Uber fan. That's supposed to be funny, but I don't know why he wrote that.
I didn't write any of it.
Although the diploma says he graduated from BG in 1990, some clergy beg to differ. Corey did receive 5 awards and scholarships to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh his senior year, and is still paying for it today. Number 12 I have to eliminate because it's a little shaky, so I'm not going to eliminate number 12. Anybody would like to know number 12? See Corey after the program. He has recited 7,541 Our Fathers and 9,222 Hail Marys while during his tenure at Bishop Guilfoyle High School. He was rejected by the Benedictine monastery due to the whole vow of silence thing. He can play 66 out of the 88 keys on the piano. He speaks German. Oh, okay, only the swears and prayers. Then we got 50. No, we don't have 50. He's the original choreographer of the Macarena dance, but later admitted he was attacked by a swarm of bees and the dance basically wrote itself from there. He's the inventor of both duct tape and air conditioning. And then he adds in parenthesis, "You're welcome." I just got this today. I was kind of a slow thinker. It says, he requested name change from the cotton gin to the cotton rum, but it was rejected. Corey is the guy who put the bump in the bumpty bump. And the ram in the ram and down the ding dong. I was going to sing that, but I changed my mind. So it's so nice to have him here. I mean, he is an unbelievable guy, and I think we should give him a warm up. For his service hour.
Service hour. Put me down for like 10.
Not like you've done this before.
I just wanted your autograph too much. Get a football field named after you. I want to. Thanks for coming, everybody. You know, about 20-some years ago, when I was in college, art school, those of you who know Saturday Night Live, our Tom Rowley on the radio announcing that up at St. Francis, Chris Farley was coming to town. And immediately we were all psyched. My school chums here, we were all psyched. Chris Farley is coming. This is great. And about a day or so later they came on, Chris Farley can't make it. David Spade's going to be coming. So we're like, oh, David Spade's not as funny. Woohoo, we're still going to see David Spade. He's funny, yeah, he hung out with Farley. He knows Farley. So about 2 or 3 days later go by, and they said, Spade canceled, he can't make it. Phil Hartman's going to be coming. If you remember Saturday Night Live 20-some years ago, he was the straight man. Phil Hartman's going to do stand-up comedy? Okay. By the end of the week, it came down to Kevin Nealon, who, if anybody remembers Kevin Nealon, he really wasn't that funny. So I ended up, well, I already bought the ticket, so I had to go. Ended up, he was absolutely hysterical, just the hit of the show. And I tell you that story because a few years ago, I get a phone call from my alma mater here to come and host or MC the Ring of Honor. And they said, we want you and Bill Betway. Bill Betway's a fellow cartoonist, most of you know him. To do a shtick. We want you guys to do the Ring of Honor. And Betway immediately declined. And I said, well, sure, I'd love to help out my alma mater in any way, shape, or form. And I'm still in. And they go, well... You know, Betway was the original Steamer. And he's got the syndicated comic strip. And I'm like, well... I was the longest running Steamer. I sweated off about 50 pounds, gained it all back since then. And I did a bunch of kids' books. And so not long ago, I get another phone call, and they said, hey, you know the guy you used to run around with back here, Aaron Cooley? Some of you might remember Aaron Cooley. We were called Laurel and Hardy back in the days of school. We actually went to Hollywood, did a show. They said, we want you and that fat guy to come in. You guys were funny. And I said, okay, so I told Cooley, and he immediately declined. So I called the two of those guys up first just to make sure we were okay. And so I said, he can't do it, but I'll be glad to come back to my school, Bishop Guilfoyle, woohoo! Class of 90, barely. And I'll do it. And they said, well, you're not the funny guy. I said, yeah, but I'm the one that wrote everything. And they said, okay, so I finally get the call again. Can you come in and host it? I said, no. He says, I'm too expensive. You can't afford me. And Janice Hitler says, well, you know, there's a plate of stuffed shells with 2 meatballs on it from Lena's. And I said, I'm in. Actually, I I asked if I could only have the title of Lord of the Rings, but she wouldn't give me that title. But seriously, truthfully, when I heard Marty Georgiana was being inducted, I said, count me in. To all the Georgiana family, most of you know I have a special place in my heart for Grandma and Grandpa. And absolutely. So, without further ado, we're going to start this show off with calling Adam Georgiana to present the Ring of Honor to his dad, Marty.
Goodness, discipline, knowledge, the pillars of Bishop Guilfoyle. My dad encompasses these attributes and epitomizes what Bishop Guilfoyle represents. For over 25 years, he had the opportunity to share his knowledge of not only football, but also loyalty, tradition, and what being a part of the BG family meant to him and everyone that walked these halls. Having been fortunate enough to have both played for him and coached alongside him, I can assure you that his message was received and is being passed along. The countless ways my dad has impacted someone's life does not and should not go unnoticed. His selflessness and do unto others approach is what we all strive for, what we are taught through our faith. My dad has taught me more than I can remember. The most important thing was how to be a good person. It wasn't hard to learn, because all I had to do was watch him. Even today, at least once a week at my house, the words, "What would Marty do?" are spoken by either my wife or I. His word is gold. My dad taught me that family is the most important thing in our lives. He would always say, be proud of the family you're a part of. I couldn't be more proud to be a part of this family. And we should all be proud to have you a part of ours. You deserve this. Congratulations. I don't think I've ever heard anything so beautiful in my life. I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. Especially, I'm looking out here and I'm seeing friends that just humbling that you would think that much to come and pay tribute. And I thank you. Dana, Doctor, congratulations, both well deserved. I've truly been blessed to have the family that I have. My mom and dad gave us love and taught us respect. Had a sister who was taken from us early, who we adored. But while we had her, she meant everything. And I have 4 brothers that I look up to, I respect, and that are my best friends. I've truly been blessed. I'm humbled to receive this honor from the school that has meant so much to me and my family. Bishop Guilfoyle has literally shaped my life. And let me try to explain what I mean by that. Without Bishop Guilfoyle, I probably would have not have met and married my wife, Joan, 2 weeks into the school year. She was a freshman. I was a sophomore at the old 6th Avenue building. If I wouldn't have married Joan, the following things would not have happened in my life. I wouldn't have the Gooderhams in my life, who I love dearly. I I wouldn't have my son Adam, who also attended Bishop Guilfoyle. Adam has grown into a fine man, fine father, and as you can see tonight, just a wonderful person, and I couldn't be any more proud of him. Adam would not have married his wife Amy, who is as beautiful on the inside as she is on the outside. And we are blessed to have her in our family. And if Adam didn't marry Amy, I would not have my wonderful grandsons, who I'm sure you've heard of here. Jesse and Nicholas, who I absolutely live for. And I mean that literally. I absolutely live for these two boys. Without Bishop Guilfoyle, I wouldn't have 90% of the closest friends that I have, all of which have Guilfoyle ties. Now, I do have some friends that aren't from Guilfoyle out here, too, so I don't want to I'm going to mention some names here. I'm sure I'm not going to mention everybody, but it's not a slight to you. Friends like the Irwins and the Beards, the Helsleys. Just like my brothers who are my best friends, these friends that I have from BG are like my family. And how lucky of a man am I that my family are my friends, and my friends are my family. And finally, without BG, I wouldn't have Jordan McClure in my life. Jordan is so special. He has taught and given me so much more than I could ever give back to him. He doesn't even realize. And Jordan, I thank you. So to say Bishop Guilfoyle has had an influence on my life would be an understatement. The least I could do is give back a little to the school that has given me, my family, and my friends so much. I always tried to represent BG with the class and dignity that the school's name deserves. I'm sure most of you know Bishop Guilfoyle is a very special place. It has a spirit that you can feel. This spirit comes from the people that have walked the halls, the dedicated teachers, and all the people that have worked and volunteered here. It's about family and tradition. And if you let this spirit in, it can do great things in your life. I think most of us here know and can feel exactly what I'm talking about. When I took over for Tom, someone asked me, how was I going to run my program? I told him it wasn't my program, that it belongs to everyone who ever played here, and that we're just the caretakers of the tradition and the pride. It's our responsibility to ensure that we do things the right way, the Bishop Guilfoyle way, so that all have come before and all will come after will be proud. It's not about ownership or power, ego or personal agenda. It's about the responsibility to this school that has meant so much to so many people, and that is so much bigger than any individual. So those that are here now, you have an obligation to be the caretakers of this great institution. I know that with Joan and Mike in charge, the school is in good hands. And the future students will get to enjoy and feel the spirit just as we have. Finally,
My wife Joan passed away a little over a year ago, and I was with Joan for 36 years. And Joan loved BG. Without Joan, I would not be standing here tonight. She gave me the drive and the confidence to do the things that I have done. Tara Wood wrote a wonderful article in the Mirror after Joan died. The headline read something like this: BG lost its biggest cheerleader. Well, I lost my biggest cheerleader. I wish she was here tonight. She would be proud, not only of me, but of her family and of her school. I miss her very much.